I'm student meteorologist Evan O'Regan.
And I'm student meteorologist Serre.
And welcome to the Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. So we're starting off with our top story, one of our top stories, that cold air sinking in from Canada, really taking over much of the eastern half of the nation with those sub-freezing temperatures.
That's right, and now we have Tropical Storm Wanda, which yesterday gained tropical characteristics and is now spinning in the northern Atlantic.
That's right, and we also have a rainy day on Friday forecast for the Tallahassee area. Highs generally in the upper 50s to low 60s with those showers around.
In tonight's headlines, we can see the cold air will start to move into our beginning part of November. We have tropics are not yet dead, and now we will have current local temperatures will get cooler as we get throughout the rest of the week.
That's right, all that and more on FSU Weather. That's right. So as Aaron said, we do have that cold start to November, starting off around most of the nation this week. And we also have those tropics that aren't dead yet as we look to those cooler local temperatures this weekend. And now for the overview, just for a quick 1-minute overview here. We will have, first off, a live look over Doak Campbell Stadium. 75 degrees and sunny, not a cloud in the sky, so a great day today. Currently right now, as I said, 75 in Tallahassee, generally low to mid 70s around the entire area. Nothing on the radar, which is always good to see. Tonight's forecast generally in the low to mid 50s. And as we go on to our tonight on FSU, cold in the east, dry weather around here, so nice few days ahead, and cooler weather this weekend. And I'm going to send things over to Aaron on the desk.
That is right, Evan. Very, very comfortable start here in Tallahassee. But for our top story tonight, we do have a cold plunge coming in throughout the eastern portion of the U.S. In turn, we also do have some snow, actually some lake effect snow up into Michigan and some mountain snow up in upstate New York. We also do have an incoming system coming into the Pacific Northwest, which will bring some moisture into that area as well. But here locally, it's been very, very pleasant across the area. And of course, like Evan said, we will have that cold air coming in this weekend, and it'll actually drop the temperatures pretty far, at least compared to what it should be on average. But certainly very, very comfortable weather coming in. And that looks like it'll be coming in after a cold front on Friday. And actually might even see some wet weather too on Friday as well. But now we will head back to Evan with the top story.
That's right, and that top story is those cooler temperatures that are plunging in from Canada that will overtake most of the nation as this week goes on. Here you can see that kind of cold air moving in with this trough, upper-level trough on the water vapor imagery, and that cold front will start to move in with this low pressure that's forming in the middle of the country here. That will sweep its way eastward as we work our way towards the end of the week and into the weekend too, at least in the Tallahassee area. As we look currently, you can see that cold air is generally bottled up in the northern part of the country right now. 40 right now in Minneapolis, 44 up in Buffalo, New York, and that cold air will continue to sink south and eastward as we go forward in time here. Looking at the East Coast radar, we do have some showers working their way out of the Washington, D.C. area into the New York City area, maybe even reaching coastal Connecticut and Rhode Island as well. That'll continue throughout the next few hours. And also today we did see our first lake effect snow, if you can believe it, up in Michigan and Wisconsin. So some of those areas got 6+ inches of snow, which is pretty abnormal for this time of the year. But it is, I'm sure, a welcome sight for many of those people who maybe in recent years didn't have that snow cover that they would like to see. As for the next 48 hours, we do have that rain moving its way along the Gulf Coast, maybe heavier in Texas. And there's that cold air working its way into the middle, eastern half of the country, 43 in Detroit by the time we get to this time on Thursday. As for Wednesday's highs, you can see, again, very chilly, especially in the Midwest, 47 up there in Chicago, 46 up in Minneapolis, and that cold air is continuing to work its way eastward with 54 is the high in D.C. tomorrow. As for Thursday morning's lows, there's that cold air, 28 in Chicago, 26 up all the way in Bismarck. So again, really sinking in, really settling in here. And Thursday morning, those temperatures will be affecting 95 million of you will have sub-freezing temperatures on Thursday morning. Again, cold on Thursday as well. Friday morning's lows, you see that cold air is pushing a little bit further to the east. Sub-freezing temperatures in both Chicago and Louisville on Friday morning. And again, very chilly on Friday for high temperatures as well. Low to mid-50s across the eastern half of the country. Saturday morning's lows, again, cold. 37 in D.C., 33 in Louisville, 35 up there in Detroit. And again, this November cold snap will continue to move east through the end of the week. Coldest temperatures for the East Coast will last into this weekend. And some of those lows will be dipping below freezing. As I said, that air will continue to expand across most of the nation, affecting, like I said, 95 million Americans by the time we get to Thursday morning. So definitely some chilly air coming in. Make sure you want to get those winter jackets out and ready to go as we work into the weekend. And now we're going to pass things off to Aaron.
That's certainly right, Evan. Although we won't be that cold here in Tallahassee, but it certainly will be colder as we do have that cold front that will eventually make its way in. But until then, we have a very comfortable sunset, or I should say a nice sunset out there actually coming up, and that actually might be one of the last, at least in terms for the show, because next week, of course, we do have that daylight savings time. But currently at Doak, right now, 75 degrees under sunny skies, so very, very comfortable conditions right now. It's a very, very pleasant day if you want to go out for a walk or really do any nice outdoor activities. We do have a nice wind from the northeast at 5 miles per hour, so certainly no moisture influence from the Gulf of Mexico, but certainly comfortable as it is. Our temperature almanac for today, we had a high of 77 degrees today, although we did start from a low of 46, so it certainly was chilly this morning. We saw on my way to class a lot of people with jackets, so it certainly was a cold start today, but we did warm up to, as I said, 77, which is actually our average high of 77 as well. Although we actually were cooler than average in our average low at 52, but certainly not near 28 degrees like we were back in the 1900s. Hour by hour, you can see that warm-up I was mentioning. You can see from the upper 40s around 6 to about 9 a.m., and that warm-up coming in as we come into the rest of the afternoon, and we topped up at 77 at 4 p.m. Our current local temperatures, you can see nice, comfortable across the area, mid-70s across the board. Our highest point right now is St. Mark's at 77 degrees, so certainly comfortable across the Big Bend region. Our current dew points, very, very comfortable dew points. We have dew points right now of in the mid-50s in Tallahassee and in Quincy. We are sneaking a little bit up into the mid-60s as we get towards Monticello and then further off to the east of the viewing area. Our local radar shows not much, quiet. Might perhaps maybe a little bit of a sea breeze along the coast, but really not much in terms of our weather. Our future radar pretty much shows not a lot of activity. You might see a few clouds, hit or miss clouds overnight, but certainly not much. And of course, even into tomorrow, we have maybe some upper level clouds from the west, but no rain in sight. Tonight's forecast, we are in the mid-50s area wide, very, very comfortable night tonight, a little bit warmer than last night, but certainly nice night to maybe keep your window open, have some nice refreshing cold air coming in. And then tomorrow's forecast, pretty similar to today. We have 76 in Tallahassee and for much of the area. Our dog walk forecast, we will be warming up very nicely into 68 degrees by noon, and then by 3 p.m., we'll be in the mid-70s. As we look forward to the week ahead, you can see that cold front that will be coming down into Florida as we get into Friday, with bringing in the chance for some wet weather on Friday. And then, of course, behind the front, we will have some cooler weather, as Evan was mentioning earlier. So, very comfortable.
That's right, and I'm one for really looking forward to this colder weather coming in. Maybe not for many native Floridians, but a true northern like me, I'm definitely looking forward to those cooler temperatures. But now I'm going to take you around the state of Florida right now. Generally a nice day around the whole state, except for our friends in South Florida and Miami. Maybe a little bit cloudy there, and there are some showers around that I'll show you later popping up on the radar just south of Miami. Currently right now, temperature-wise though, very comfortable in the northern half of the state though, low to mid-70s across the panhandle of Florida, and as we move southward, moderating into the 80s as we reach Orlando and Tampa. A little bit cooler where those clouds are around Miami International, and beautiful 80 degrees and sunny in Key West. We do have a little stripe of dry air moving south and eastward towards the Tampa and Orlando areas right now, so that might help to make the air a little more comfortable outside, a little more high energy weather out there. but those temperatures will still remain warm in the 80s as that does so. We do have those showers just a little bit south of Miami over here. That's really contributing to that cloud cover I showed you guys earlier, but really clear across the rest of the state. So it's been a really nice day around here, especially in Tallahassee. There's a little closer look at those showers, a little bit heavier. Let me try and move its way towards the Keys by the time that everything is said and done. As for the future radar, those showers do move across the Keys and into the Gulf of Mexico overnight. Those may try and swing backward toward the Tampa area by this time on Thursday. And we also do have some heavy showers, again, off towards southern Florida. So make sure you have your rain jackets on Thursday to help you prepare for that. And any of those thunderstorms that do develop on Thursday will not be severe, just a very general thunderstorm threat. So there won't be any risk of any hail, damaging winds, nothing like that. Just very general thunderstorms. As we go throughout the state of Florida for the forecast for specific cities, Miami, pretty nice the next couple days, low to mid 80s for Wednesday and Thursday. That thunderstorm threat does return though on Friday, 56% chance on Friday for storms there. As we move northward towards Tampa, 84 on tomorrow, very nice day there. A little more cloudy on Thursday, limiting those temperatures to 79, and raining on Friday with the coolest day of the week at 75. Moving northward again to Orlando, 84 there on Wednesday, 82 on Thursday, a little more clouds there. Thunderstorm threat returns on Friday there as well. As for Jacksonville, again, same thing, 75 tomorrow, 69 on Thursday, 65 on Friday, so the cooling trend continues there as well. And the same thing for Pensacola there as well, cloudy on Friday, 66. As for tomorrow's highs, though, generally very comfortable, mid-70s for the northern half of the state, mid-80s for the middle of the state, maybe a little bit warmer as we work towards Fort Myers at 87, but really nice day out there. That rain doesn't get here until Friday.
That's right, Evan, and very, very nice across the area. We're actually saying nationally is very, very nice. Of course, we do have that cooler air making its way across the central plains. You can see very, very nice, comfortable conditions. Cooler conditions, 41 in Denver, 47 in Kansas City, 53 in Dallas-Fort Worth. So certainly you can see kind of where the dividing line where that cold front is, or will be setting up right here across the really northern part of Alabama and Georgia into the southeast. And then, of course, off to the New England, you can see comfortable conditions under sunny skies. And that's where we have that snow up there in the Great Lakes. You can see 39 degrees in Minneapolis currently. So certainly cold across northern portions of the country. And this kind of tells you the whole story for the rest of the week. You can see that developing low pressure right here over Denver, and that will push over to the east, and that will help bring some of the cooler air from the north. And that is what will push into our area closer towards Friday. But until then, you can see we have some upper-level moisture coming in from the east and over Texas. But like I said, that will be wrapped into this low as it pushes off to the east, and it might even bring some snow and some rain off to the New England areas. Our current dew points across the nation, very, very bone dry across much of the northern half of the U.S. You can see 20 in Minneapolis, 26 in Kansas City, but where we're at, we are a touch more humid, 56. It's certainly still comfortable, but it's definitely not as dry as places further to the north. And then, of course, that'll get even more drier as we go closer to the weekend. And over to the northeast, you can see pretty much that rain setting up, that we have that current low pressure area. In the area, we can see the rain stretching from Washington, D.C. over to New York and off the coast of Boston. But if you look over to the left-hand side of the screen, you can see there is some lake effect snow up in portions of the upper peninsula of Michigan and down towards the mitten of Michigan right here. And then we do have a few mountain snow areas, which normally means that when you go up above a certain elevation in a mountain, when the temperatures do get below 32 degrees, you might see some snow up into the upstate New York and other places around the New England. And then zooming in further to the nation's capital, you can see Washington, D.C., very, very dreary conditions across much of the area today. You can see all that rain is being pushed offshore right now. So places like Maryland, the Delmarva Peninsula, up to New Jersey, it is a pretty soaker out there right now. So certainly grab your umbrella. And then up towards the Great Lakes, you can see that's lake effect snow I was mentioning before, up towards the upper peninsula of Michigan, and then, of course, coming in from the northwest and it's all spinning in roughly a counterclockwise spin around that low pressure area off into Canada. But places even like Toronto and down over here in Ontario, you can see some of that lake effect snow as well. But then, of course, as you go into the U.S., it does transition over towards rain, as you do have slightly warmer temperatures over the U.S., but certainly still cold across much of the area. And here's our future radar. That snow persists across the Great Lakes for much of the time, at least through tomorrow. And even as we get into Thursday, you can still see there's still a possibility of some lake effect snow up to the Great Lakes, and then even some snow up to upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and then we do have some rain coming in from the Atlantic side. But our drought monitor, you can see a very, very dry conditions across much of the West. Even though all that rain we had in California with the atmospheric river last week did not help at all. We certainly are having a really exceptional drought across much of the West. But as we look further to the east, you can see it is a bit not as dry across the east, not as much drought conditions. You might see some droughts across coastal sections of the Carolinas down towards the eastern coast of the Florida Peninsula. And for our national forecast over that, or national radar I should say, over the drought monitor, you can see actually there's some snow and some rain over towards Denver and Colorado. And then up towards the Pacific Northwest, we do have an incoming system, which might help a bit, but certainly not enough. Here's that rainfall forecast across much of the area. You can see places like Washington, D.C., or Washington, I should say, over towards Oregon may actually see some rain across, especially much coastal areas. Our current snow cover, we actually do have a potential for some snow across much of the Rockies. And for our Gulf Coast, you can see pretty much clear, and of course we'll have that developing low pressure over to the north, and over across the next 48 hours, you can see that developing low across much of the area, across going to Texas, Louisiana, and much of the area there. And for tomorrow's highs, you can see tomorrow's highs will be very, very nice and cool across much of the east, but certainly still warm here in Tallahassee.
That's right. That cold air doesn't really get here until Friday, so we do have some time until that gets here. So I'm going to take you guys through a little weekly planner around the whole nation. Make sure you pay attention. This will be pretty helpful for you guys out there. As Aaron was saying, for tomorrow, those high temperatures, especially for the Midwest, are going to be very chilly. Before that cold air does seep in here into the southeast, you can see that kind of dividing boundary there running up through Louisiana into Mississippi and Alabama. There's that cold front right there setting up there for tomorrow. As for Thursday, that cold front seeps further to the southeast as the cold air seeps into places like Detroit and working its way into upstate New York as well, really limiting those high temperatures. Very chilly out there. Make sure you guys have your jackets prepared for those for those winter-like conditions almost, or late fall rather. But again, that cold air will push further to the east. Only 50 degrees in Boston on Friday. So again, very chilly as we work into the weekend. That cold air really seeps into the southeast. You can see there in Tallahassee, only 61 degrees on Saturday with a little chance of showers. Still 83 there in Miami, so they won't get in on this cold front action. But again, very chilly for much of the eastern half of the nation. And again, as we work into Sunday, still 68 degrees in Tallahassee, 59 in D.C., 58 in Detroit, 54 up there in Boston. So again, very chilly. Even out west, 50 in Billings, still very rainy and cold in Seattle, 47 and rainy. So again, very chilly up there. Almost that raw feeling you have to the air. That's a really good day to really snuggle up next to a fireplace with a movie going. That's really the best kind of day to do that. So definitely want to take this cold air seriously. Not as seriously as you would for a January event like this, but still very chilly for this time of the year. So make sure you don't get caught off guard out there.
And as we bring our show back to the Big Bend region, we will once again go over our local forecast. And currently, a very, very nice sunset about to happen over Doak Campbell Stadium, as always. Currently under sunny skies and 75 degrees, so certainly very, very pleasant out there, as I was mentioning before, with a nice brisk northeast wind at 5 miles per hour. Our temperature LMAC for today, we hit actually it was a pretty average day in terms of the high temperature. We had our temperature of 77 today and our low of 46, so certainly was a nice cool morning, but then we did warm up very nicely into the mid to upper 70s across the area. And our current local temperatures reflect that nice weather right now we're seeing out there. We see 74 Tallahassee, 72 up towards Thomasville, and really, really nice conditions across. Even down into the Appalachia Bay, you can see 77 down in St. Mark's. So very, very comfortable conditions out there right now. Our current dew points also show that. You can see 55 in Tallahassee, 57 in Quincy, and then we do have some 60s coming into the eastern portion of the viewing area. But still, it's not in 70s like we would normally see in the summertime. So our Florida radar, you can see there are a few showers down towards the Miami right there. You can see they are moving towards the west. And so probably a few storms if you're down there towards Miami. You might need an umbrella for those hit or miss thunderstorms. And then over towards Tallahassee, you can see we do have a ground clutter over the radar, but again, that's not actual rain. And then we have that sea breeze coming up from the Appalachia Bay. Our future radar pretty much shows very, very quiet conditions across much of the area. We may have a few clouds coming in. That's really all the worry we have. And maybe even a sea breeze coming tomorrow, coming over from the, I should say, the east coast of Florida. Might even bring a shower or two, maybe over towards the I-75 corridor by tomorrow evening. But really, nothing at all, nothing significant across the entire area. And if you are going out and about tonight in Tallahassee, expect a low temperature of 52. So certainly very, very comfortable conditions tonight. Might need a light jacket, especially over towards the early morning hours, as it's typically when we have those lower temperatures. But it certainly will be clear and we'll have calm winds. And as we get into tomorrow, you can see our temperature will be in the mid-70s, much like today, under sunny conditions, very, very pleasant, with a nice wind from the north-northeast at 6 miles per hour. Our dog walk forecast, if you are taking your dog out for a walk, you can see really any time throughout the day, it is certainly very, very comfortable. So really not a concern whatever time you decide to take your pooch out. And as we look at the week ahead, you can see very, very nice comfortable temperatures as we get into Friday. Then Friday is when we have that cold front coming in, and we do have that cool down. After that, we see high of only 60 degrees on Friday, so under mostly cloudy and rainy conditions. But I say it's really comfortable. What do you think, Evan?
Yeah, that does look like a good forecast, with the exception of those kind of cool and raw conditions on Friday. But the rest of the week looks good, nice and dry and cool. My kind of weather, if you ask me. But now I'm going to walk you guys through a little bit of a tropical update here. We do finally have this last name system on the 2021 hurricane names list. Wanda, there's the center spinning around there in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, no threat to any land. But we do finally have that last name. We waited a while for it after Victor was also spinning around here in the Atlantic. A closer view at Wanda, currently a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm, pressure of 992 millibars, and it's moving towards the north at 8 miles an hour. Again, no threat to any land, and it's not very particularly organized, but it does have that nice counterclockwise swirl going around its center there. So it's more of a pretty storm, nice to look at, a fish storm, if you will, over the Atlantic. There it is spinning away again on the water vapor imagery. It might be affected by some of this dry air, although it's not very close to the center. But again, most of the convection seems to be occurring south and east of the storm, so not really connected to the center. So very disorganized, if you ask me, but still enough to be categorized as a tropical system. There's the track that Wanda took as a nor'easter last week, kind of spinning up here before it gained those subtropical characteristics and eventually tropical characteristics as it worked its way more over those waters of the Atlantic. Still have 80-degree plus temperatures, sea surface temperatures, working in the main development region of the Atlantic Ocean, but no storms will be forming there anytime soon, which is always good news. As for Wanda's projected path, it is projected to strengthen a little bit by the time we get to Wednesday morning at 2 a.m. 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm by the time it gets here, but really just swirling away in the Atlantic. No, like I said, no threat to any land. It may brush these islands here with some of its outer rain bands, but again, not really a real threat to any land anytime soon, which is always good to hear. And we did exhaust this list of hurricane names for the 2021 Atlantic season. If we do get another named storm, we'll have to move to the auxiliary list for tropical storms moving forward, as we have, again, exhausted this list. Not much in the Gulf of Mexico, really no convection at all. We do have a little bit of convection, disorganized convection in the Caribbean, but really, again, not much to look at, not very impressive, or organized for that matter. So again, quiet tropics are always a good thing, especially for this time of year, where we can get still hurricanes to form as hurricane season does go until December 1st.
That's right. I hope there's no hurricanes coming in towards the area, at least towards Tallahassee, but it certainly looks really quiet on much of the forecast. But as you look at our 60-second forecast, you can see across the nation, again, the story is the cold air moving down south from Canada, and we'll have a bigger shot of colder air as we get towards the weekend here in Tallahassee. Again, we have that East Coast radar. You can see that rain and really dreary skies across much of New England. And of course, this is actually the cold air incoming. You can see that cold air eventually does get pushed further and further to the southeast. So we will have our shot at cold air, but it won't be nothing like Chicago, but certainly very, very cold. Wanda, you can see developed. You can see it's out in the far northern Atlantic. Nothing. It's a fish storm, so nothing of concern for any land. So very, very comfortable conditions across much of the area, I would say. But luckily, Wanda is not at all a threat.
That's right. And I'll give you guys one last check closer to home. Again, not affected except by any hurricanes, thank goodness. And that will remain the case for the future going forward. You can see that, look at that beautiful sunset setting over the Del Camo Stadium. Those oranges and pinks showing up very nicely on our camera here, looking at the stadium. 75 right now and sunny. We do have that northeasterly breeze coming out of the northeast at 5 miles an hour. Currently right now, very comfortable out around the whole area. Low to mid 70s generally across the entire Big Bend region, maybe a little warmer towards St. Mark's at 77. Not much in the way of rain across the Florida radar. We do have those showers, as I mentioned earlier, down near Miami. And closer to home, we do have a little bit of ground clutter. None of that is actually rain, so that's just ground interference with our radar. So not much to worry about there either. Looking at the future radar, though, again, not much to see really at all. We do have those clouds that may stream in. Those high, thin clouds may contribute to maybe a pretty sunset tomorrow, this time tomorrow. So that's definitely something to look forward to. But know those clouds will be rain-bearing, which is always good news. Tonight's forecast around Tallahassee, generally in the low to mid-50s. So again, another nice, comfortable night out there. As for tomorrow, much of the same as today. And as for your 7-day forecast, really nice conditions, with the exception of Friday. We do have those showers coming into our area, as well as for Saturday. Hopefully that'll clear up by the time we get to our game against NC State. Hopefully the Noles can have a better game than they did against Clemson, but that will remain to be seen.
That is right, Evan. You might need your umbrella as we come into Friday, as we do have that approaching cold front coming into the area. But I think until then, it's still very comfortable conditions. So
that's right, and I am for one looking forward to these cooler temperatures. Although many native Floridians may not be, but as long as those temperatures aren't in the 30s, like most of those country will be seeing over the next few days, I think that's always a good thing.
We would freeze. It would be certainly the ice age if that were to happen. But like I was saying, that will occur mostly towards the weekend after that cold front. But for most of the country, I mean, they're going to be pretty cold. And again, with that snow up in the Great Lakes, very, very cold. So follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/FSU weather. Same thing on Facebook, facebook.com/FSU weather. And watch us live if you're not already on YouTube, youtube.com/FSU weather. And as always, follow us on Instagram at FSU weather for more information.
That's right, and make sure you guys send us your pictures as well. We're always looking for pictures that we can use for our dog walk forecast, so if you have a furry friend out there that you'd like to have featured in our show, always make sure that you can send those in to us as well. So that about wraps us up for us on this Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. I hope you guys enjoyed our show tonight. Make sure you guys stay safe out there, bundle up as that cold air does work its way down from Canada, and as always, have a good night.
Stay safe.